Pick your class and
earn your battle points.
Because it's time for the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast. Welcome to episode 155 of the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, joined by my brother and co-host, Sam Goodwin.
Hello there.
In this episode, we'll be going over the Anakin details and the March community calendar with the new game mode details.
Let's get started.
Anakin is here, Sam.
Indeed.
And he's a freaking beast.
The beastiest beast on the beast front.
Like, can take on a whole team of heroes by himself in Heroes vs. Villains Beast. Few truly knew Anakin Skywalker, though many spoke of him and his countless feats during the Clone Wars. Hero of the Republic and one of the most valiant Jedi Knight on any battlefront. Anakin's story is one of tragedy and longing, but also one of hope and love. Anakin is in the game. He's here.
Yes, he is, actually.
What are your thoughts on Anakin?
Yeah, Anakin's a little bit on the overpowered side, but he's what every hero and villain should have been on release, power-wise.
But funny that you say that. Friend of the podcast, Preston.
Who?
We mentioned last week.
Oh, this Preston guy. Oh, yeah, he got the shout-out last episode?
Yep, last episode we gave him a shout-out.
Man, I'd really like to meet this guy. I keep hearing so much about him.
Mm-hmm. But he said the same thing, that the power level of Anakin
is over 9,000?
Is over 9,000, and he wishes that that's what he thinks that the other heroes should be. Like, they should be at the level that Anakin is.
Yeah, and I did say this last episode, but with the traits in Battlefront 2015, they did add that later down the line with the villains and heroes. But it seems like the more they produce heroes and villains, the more they're like, man, we should have did this from the start, and they start adding new things.
Yes. We are at the tail end of the Clone Wars season. So we've got all of the heroes, we've got all of the maps, we haven't got the game mode yet, but all of the heroes have just gotten better and better and better. And they are just so much better than the original heroes and villains that we got with the game. I mean, Anakin has a whole nother fourth ability.
Yeah, we can refer to it as a trait, in all honesty, because it basically is. But I just hope that down the line, if they're not like pumping out content, they need something to do to start adding this trait type ability to all the heroes and villains.
They did that with Battlefront 2015 when they added the new heroes. I think it was
with Dengar.
Boskin. It was Dengar and
Lando.
I think so.
Yeah, Lando came with Dengar.
Dengar and Lando, I believe, is when they added the ability. It was a trait for the heroes, and then they went back and they made hero traits for all of the heroes and villains.
And they did do that in like a dry spot for Battlefront, to where they weren't really making any content per se. Mm-hmm. And I think it was added with the offline multiplayer mode as well. So they kind of just released all that content at once. But this is a good example of what they can do, because I want some continuity with all the heroes and villains. So we don't have Anakin over here who's sporting the third eye, like destroying everything.
Hello, everyone. My name's Anakin. I can destroy everyone.
Yeah, it's a little unfair to the other kids. To put it in perspective.
Little Johnny over here is having problems.
Little Grievous is jealous of Anakin, how he's got another power. Come on, Battlefront Daddy, give him something. Yeah, so, I mean, it is broken. The character is broken. Let's go over some of his abilities.
Okay, yeah. First, one of his abilities is Passionate Strike. Anakin unleashes a heavy strike, breaking his opponent's guarding, dealing high damage. And this goes through lightsaber blocking.
It does, which I personally think that every lightsaber wielder should have some kind of piercing of force.
Because you've got Obi-Wan over there who can just block for years.
It's stupid. Like both Obi-Wan and even Grievous has it to an extent. Most of the
all of the new heroes have just so much better improved lightsaber combat.
I don't even think that's an improvement. If anything, that's degenerate. I don't think you should be able to spam block and not be able to get hit, especially in Heroes vs. Villains when they're the target. And yeah, it's just infuriating, because we got in a game, Cousins, #shoutout, and the team would pick these broken blockers throughout their entire team so they wouldn't lose because you couldn't kill them.
Yes. I've had games where it's been an impasse where when Obi-Wan or Luke were a hero, these people are just constantly blocking, not having the stamina at all, it seemed.
Yeah, because that's what they promised, stamina to balance everything out. Mm-hmm. But the stamina is almost non-existent. I mean, unless you're like spamming it with like blocking lightsaber bolts. But when you're mid-battle, they can just spam it and just keep themselves alive long enough to win.
Yes. I do agree that it could be perceived as not an improvement, the lightsaber combat, but I think it is a definite sign that the lightsaber combat needs to be worked on.
At least they're, acknowledging it.
Yeah, they know that lightsaber combat is a thing that is on their mind, that's something that they're aware of. But currently, it is something that is very frustrating to experience. And I think with these new heroes, they were like, oh, okay, yeah, lightsaber combat needs to be worked on. So in a future update, I believe they have said lightsaber combat will be worked on. It's just not this one. His next ability is Heroic Impact. Anakin is more resistant to attack while holding the ability. When released, he pushes enemies away from him, the range and strength of his attack being multiplied by the damage he would typically be susceptible to. This, I think, is his most broken ability.
Yeah, this is the thing that needs to be nerfed.
Yes, he needs to be able to take all the damage in that ability.
Yeah, because I was playing Hero Showdown and I was Iden. And I walk up to Anakin and he's doing that thing, trying to shoot him. I actually assumed I was out of range because I was far away.
Yeah,
it has insane range.
Insane range.
And I guess he fully charged it and one-shot me. I was at full health with Iden Versio.
Yep.
Period. I didn't die from fall damage from going outside the map. I just straight up died.
I was Darth Vader on the indoor map. You know, the indoor map has the big central tower thing with the with the bridges and all that kind of stuff. I was on top of the bridge. Anakin attacked Darth Maul. And you know who got hit when he did that ability and took everyone around him? I did. Darth Maul did. My whole team did. And I am on top. So Anakin is on the ground level of that, on that map. I'm up above on one of the bridges in the central tower thing. And lo and behold, suddenly I die. I look around, and guess who killed me? Anakin, all the way from down there.
And I feel like because everyone makes the mistake of thinking they can break out of it by damaging him in the circle.
Yeah, because
that's a mistake. Yeah. You'll learn quickly.
I think this is his most broken ability. This is the one that needs the most work. I think that if he were to take that damage whilst in that ability where he's just standing there all Zen mode taking in that damage, I think if he took at least maybe 80% of that damage and then the amount of damage they dealt out was taken down like 40%, it would be a much better ability, and also the range.
I mean, you could argue that, you can just run out of the way, but if you run at him and you use that ability, it's too late. He can release it prematurely and still hit you.
His next ability is Pull Dominance. Anakin pulls enemies in front of him to a center point, leaving them open for attacks.
And the cool thing about Anakin is that most of his abilities combo into each other.
Yes.
Which is
again,
what we've been
with
talking about. And yeah, the pull strike is like that would pull them in. That's actually a better version of Kylo Ren's.
Yes.
So I think he's like just a better version of Kylo Ren.
And his fourth ability. Anakin's power intensifies whenever he and any nearby allies are attacked, building towards the ultimate punishment of a swift and inescapable grip, seizing all enemies around him.
Broken.
The range on this is also very insane.
And I want to say I actually blocked it with a lightsaber because it says inescapable, but I guess that's only if you're actually sucked into it. Well, which is a balanced version. You can block it, so it's not as huge, but it does take multiple enemies in its grasp. Yeah.
I'd also like to say playing Anakin, I love these abilities. Playing against Anakin, I hate them.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like, that's like the key, what an overpowered character is.
Yeah.
You like to play, don't like to play against.
Exactly. So I think they need to work on the balance of that, and they are working towards that. I believe Guillaume Raz has said that they are reducing the range down to 20 meters from whatever insane number it was. So if they're reducing it to 20 meters, it was something insane.
Yeah, and they do have a problem with releasing heroes and villains too overpowered.
Mm-hmm. Usually it's the villains, though.
Yeah.
Usually the villains come out and they're just awfully imbalanced and broken.
And the thing is that Kylo Ren's a good example because he was decent at launch, but they nerfed him to where he was unplayable. So I think it's better for a hero or a villain, in this case, to be released underpowered so he can get buffs rather.
Yeah.
Because they do just rip villains of their abilities.
And then there are all There are the usual star cards that are available that are buff health, regen health faster.
Yeah, like the normal stuff, increased range, increased damage, all that.
Yeah, his voice lines. This is Skywalker on site and ready to assist. And then he's got some interactions with Obi-Wan, Grievous, and Dooku. The Grievous one's pretty funny. Grievous. I expected someone with your reputation to be a little older. Anakin. General Grievous. You're shorter than I expected.
I was hoping for a little more Mimi lines because they kind of missed out on a couple, but they're improving. That's what matters.
When you spawn on a sand planet, he has the chance to say, I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough.
I actually wish it was.
And irritating, and it gets everywhere.
I wish it was a straight up taunt, though.
I do too. I think that is a very missed opportunity there. I don't care if I was on freaking...
Hoth.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
When I kill someone, I'm going to use it because they were coarse on me. Sounded weird, but yeah.
You underestimate my power.
The same with Obi-Wan. They like hit a couple emotes like spot on, but the rest of them I felt missed out on a few lines.
His emotes are...
This is where the fun begins. Call this a diplomatic solution? Obi-Wan's gonna kill me. A very wise Jedi once said, nothing happens by accident.
I just hope they add little younglings eventually to the game so I can say this is where the fun begins.
I want Coruscant. Please. Coruscant, please. Alongside this update, you also got 60,000 credits.
Which is amazing.
Yes. I wonder what the thinking behind that was, because they've said consistently, oh, you can obviously earn enough credits to unlock all the heroes at this price point, and then they go ahead and give you 60,000.
I mean, it's interesting, the logic behind it, but I feel like it's for new players coming in to basically give them a free hero and maybe an appearance or two.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I really like it. I'm glad.
Because my problem is, like, by the time I get enough credits to unlock a legendary skin, a new hero or villain comes out. I'm like, crap. So this helps on that in that case. Let's talk about his appearance.
Just the regular Jedi Knight and the Jedi robes is what he launched with. I think it's a good balance between movie and Clone Wars.
I feel like it should have been a common skin, though.
What, the Jedi robes?
Yeah, for Anakin.
Yeah.
I think it's a rare, actually. But do you have any skins come to mind that they missed out on adding to Anakin? I mean, like, for a legendary, I think they could have done the burnt Anakin.
Yes, I think that would be great. Comes to mind, I would like to see, like, a younger...
Yeah, that's what I was exactly thinking. Like, when Episode 2 Anakin.
Yeah.
Or even Episode 1 Anakin. I'm just kidding. Just be like a Yoda, like rig for him. That'd be awesome.
Completely different character when you match the skill. Just runs around saying, now this is pod racing.
Do a spin. Or try a spin. That's a good trick. That'd be so awesome.
Some modders need to do that. Go change Yoda into young Anakin now.
And then with that logic, just make some younglings to go along with him.
Yeah. What other appearances do you think we could expect at some point in the future?
In general, or just for Anakin?
In Anakin's case.
Like we said, Episode 2, like with the little ponytail type, and then the charred Anakin. I'm trying to think of some more. Like when he's that scene in Episode 3 where he's sleeping with his shirt off. That'd be kind of cool. But
if that happens, you know what we need, right?
Bikini Troopers?
No.
Okay.
But yes, we do need Bikini Troopers. Ben Swolo.
Oh gosh.
If we get Anakin with his shirt off, we need Ben Swolo here, and then they can fight each other.
Who's the swollest? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the swollest of them all?
And then alongside this update, we got the community calendar for the month of March. We are already in the first week of March, and we are already part of the fast spawn event for Blast and Strike. Blast and Strike modes will have 1 second spawn timer for the duration of this event.
Cool stuff.
Honestly, I think they should Blast and Strike should be that constantly, because it's such a fast-paced mode. It would really benefit from that. Then next week, we've got Triple XP Weekend Starfighters. Triple XP will be active for all ships within Starfighter, Assault, and Hero Starfighters for the duration of this event. That's from March 15th to the 17th. Double XP for all modes from the 22nd to the 24th. Double XP will be active for the duration of this event across all modes. And then the 26th, the moment we've been waiting for, the new game mode. Players will be able to fight across the surface of a planet and take down enemy capital ships to secure victory. Count Dooku's third appearance based on his sleepwear from the Clone Wars will also come with this update.
I just called it because I haven't read this. Hey. Good
Pajama
stuff.
Dooku.
I guess he has a robe that he puts on after getting out of bed to look out on Coruscant, so probably have that. Yeah, because I don't see them adding a half-naked man in Battlefront.
Sadly. You know Dooku's got some gains. He's got the sweet gains, right? Then, from the 29th through the 31st, new mode Triple XP. Triple XP will be active for all units in the new game mode.
And I'm really liking the amount of weekly, challenge and content they're bringing. Not content, but like the double XP, like doing cool timer to blast, for example. Mm-hmm. I'm really liking that.
And again, they didn't mention it in the community calendar for some reason, but the new reinforcements are still coming this month. We have no idea what they are. We just know that they will be coming, and they've been working on them.
Finally. Kind of forget about those reinforcements until they announce it. We're like, man, where have these been?
And then alongside this update, just want to mention it. Clone Troopers will now have a new default appearance. The frequently requested shinies will now become the default look for all Clone Troopers. For those wanting to use the previous planet-specific default appearance, you will be able to do so, as they will now become free unlocks.
That's awesome.
The topic of Clone War armor is one that we've seen a lot of feedback on across the last few months, and back in December last year we mentioned that we were making some changes to the Clone Trooper appearance system. We've heard a lot about authenticity when it comes to Clone Troopers and how they look, which is why we have been working closely with our friends at Lucasfilm to ensure that each Legion is representative of how you would expect them to look. One of the key goals for what we outline below is to bring you a lot of more variety and choice to your Clone Trooper experience. Under the new system, troopers will be visually different from one another, but all the time retaining the overall theme of their specific Legion. What this means is that a Heavy will have different markings to a Specialist, an Assault, and Officer, but you will still be able to tell which Legion they belong to. Armored Officers. One of the more prominent bits of feedback we've received revolves around Clone Trooper Officers. Under the current Clone Trooper system, officers only have the naval uniform appearance as an option. Now, Clone Trooper Officers will be able to equip armor the same way as Assault, Specialist, and Heavy Troopers. So more authentic to kind of like what Commander Cody would be wearing. He would actually have Clone Trooper armor instead of just the random weird naval officer uniform.
Yeah, and that's my most played class as officer, so I'm really happy for that. I actually equipped one the other day. Looks awesome.
The changes being made also means that the number of potential Clone Trooper Legions being available to choose from will increase. The new default Shinies, 501st Battalion, 327th Star Corps, 91st Recon Corps with a new helmet, 104th Wolf Pack, 212th Attack Battalion, Coruscant Guards, 41st Elite Corps, 181st Armor Division, 41st Ranger Platoon, 87th Centennial Corps, and the Navy Officer. Exchange crates. With these changes, we'll be implementing a system that will exchange the old appearances for the Phase 2 version of the new appearances. And then the rest of the post goes into more detail on exactly what their changes entail and what each of the Clone Trooper appearances are like. I'll put a link down to that in the description below. I think that's about it for this episode of the Star Wars Battlefront podcast. I've been your host, Sage Goodwin.
And I've been your co-host, Sam Goodwin.
Hi, co-host Sam Goodwin.
Hello, host.
You can follow us on Twitter at SWB Podcast, twitter.com/SWB Podcast. You can support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/Battlefront Podcast, or on PayPal, paypal.me/TieDyeSheep, TYEDYESHEEP. Another great way to support the show that's completely free is to support us by leaving a review in the Apple Podcasts app or on iTunes, or whichever podcast app that you're listening to this on now. Helps us out a ton.
Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/The Star Wars Battlefront Podcast. And our Gmail is battlefrontpodcast@gmail.com.
You can listen to the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you find podcasts. As always,
thanks for listening.
And may the Force be with you. What are you trying to do, Sam?
Hello, guys. I'm recording this on my laptop, actually. This will be episode 1 of the Game Podcast, where we go over every game ever made. Guys, don't worry. Next episode, I have my Blue Yeti, so you don't have to worry about the sound.
No, even better would be Blue Snowball.
Blue Snowball.
That's the ultimate.
It's a slight improvement, but we're going through hard times here.
It's bad as I've listened to podcasts that have audio like that. Hey guys, welcome back to the show.
I'm your co-host.
Hi. It sounds like I'm in the next room.
We're
and
still
sharing a
using
microphone.
Skype for audio. Yeah.
What the heck? Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, you follow, I'll lead.
What? Go ahead and lead.
I said you. Oh, heck. I meant you lead and I follow.